Good morning, everybody, or whatever time it is for you. I did a little reading off camera and it had a nice story to it, so I thought I'd share it with you all. I don't know if this is somebody's story or if it's just a nice little tale, so take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't, and yeah, I'll talk you through it. So I used the Mermaid Tarot because I had a dream where I was talking to three male mermaids. Now, they weren't really mermaids, they were kind of like actors, like performers. You know, sometimes you go to these kind of, what would you call it? Like a live action role play experience. So a bit like going to a Ren fair or something, but this was like a swimming pool, but they had people dressed up in character. So these were like the Atlanteans, the mermaids, and they were telling me, it's so funny, my eyes, I'm back in front of my bookcase, and my eyes rested on a book by Clive Cussler called Atlantis Found. Seriously, I cannot make this up. Like, as I'm saying it, I see Atlantis Found. So yeah, it's a bit like it's the Atlanteans, it's the mer people, and they want to tell their story of what happened to their kingdom and their great history. So it's like, as you went around this swimming pool, you encountered these different people, and it was really quiet that day. I was actually going to the coffee shop. I don't know how I ended up in the swimming pool, but hey ho, it was a dream. And I was just sat there with these mermen, and I was looking. They had very real tales. They were like, it was like I knew they were performers, but in my dream they were actually mermen. But they had these leaf things going on the hands, and just like really nicely kind of like decorated and things like this. And they're there and they're doing the whole acting spiel of like, then this happened to us. And I'd been before, so I kind of knew the whole speech. And I was thinking to myself, you don't really have to do this right now, you don't really have to perform, but I don't want to interrupt you and stop you. It's like I don't want to be rude and stop you, but also you don't have to do it. So I let them do the whole speech thing. So I was like, I want to know more about what that dream meant. So I'm going to pull some cards, and here we are. This is what came out. So the way I'm interpreting this, these three came out together. This one came out separately. They all came out at the same time, but it was like this one was separate and those three came out together. And then I clarified this with this, and I've got some clarifiers up there that I'll get to in a minute. So the story then, if we just kind of remove this one for a second. So to me, it was like, we have this King of Wands character. We have this King of Wands, and he's choosing. So if we know the King of Wands, do you know what? I'm just going to read the book. I'm going to read the book and tell you what the book says. I'm going to let the book do the storytelling today. The King of Wands. So let's get a good. Can you focus, please? Let's get the focus on. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'll try and hold it still. The Shark King, Camo Hoali, takes his job as protector and ruler very seriously. The waters and lands of his kingdom are abundant and rich, and many a troublemaker has tried and failed to infiltrate his peaceful and productive kingdom. In order for his queen to fulfill her duties, he must first fulfill his own. With his fire pearl at full power, so pay attention to the fire pearl because that's relevant. And focus. It's not the best lighting, honestly, today. With his fire pearl at full power, he patrols the boundaries of his realm, protected by the many sharks at his command. He makes sure his sentinels are in place and that the wards and protection spells of the fire pearls have not been tampered with. The King of Wands knows only too well that the freedoms and rights of his inhabitants are fragile things. If he is not vigilant, they could easily be taken away. Upright. The King of Wands reminds us that power comes with great responsibility, and that your place at the top is only as firm as your dedication to lead with commitment and honour. He understands that his strength is not just for him alone. So that's key, right? His strength is not just for him alone, but for all who fall under his protection and guidance. Being a leader is not easy, and being one with great power is even harder still. However, despite despite his serious nature and commitment to the betterment of the realm. Do you know what? Maybe I'm just going to show you now that I've changed the page, because it's a nice big, like, this book is beautiful. You know, if you did want to get a tarot book. He will also act instantly and without hesitation. The King of Wands is a doer, not a dreamer. He's not a doer. He's a doer, not a dreamer, and his boundless energy serves his duties well. Okay, so don't worry about the reversal. We're not, I mean, you can read that if you want to pause and read it, but it's, it came up in the upright. Everything was in the upright. So the King of Wands then, he's got a job to do. He's protecting his kingdom. He's protecting all his children. Children seem very, very relevant. We've got 6 children here and 1 child here. 7 children. Some of you may have already worked out where I'm going with this. It's like the Little Mermaid, right? King Triton, he's got all those daughters. So I think he is making some sort of a choice here. He's choosing between these children, because we have the 7 of Cups here, which is choosing options, but we also have the 6 of Cups, which is like, if you look here, like, so let me just bring it closer. This mermaid here actually has a pearl in her hands. Now it's a different color to the fire pearl, but I'm still seeing it as like, it's almost like the king's pearl. It's like the pearl has been taken out of the staff, so maybe it's just like not working right now, and it's like, where should this pearl go? You know, which of these cups is she going to put the pearl in? And so in making this decision, it's like, well, these children, these 6, you know, choosing between 7 people, these 6 are frivolous. They don't understand the worth of what is being gifted to them. So you can see one of them's got this cup on as a hat. One of them's like, you know, they're just being really, really silly with the cups. Oh, there's actually 5 children, not 6, but there's 6 cups, right, on this card. So normally the 6 of Cups has a really nice meaning. It talks about nostalgia for the past, you know, thinking about childhood, thinking about the way you were raised, thinking about friends from the past, relationships from the past. It's also a card about being quite sweet and childlike and having a very playful nature. So nice imagery on this card, you know, equal give and take as well, equal fair and share. Those kind of easy childhood type relationships where you know, things are really simple. You know, you it's like, I want to be your friend. Oh, I want to be your friend. Great, let's go and play together. You know, it's that kind of very easy relationship. And there is something here about ease. But so yeah, this mermaid has the job of choosing where to put this pearl. I've taken this as 6, like, so 6 people are kind of frivolous and silly, but this is the child that is given the gift of the pearl, whatever the pearl represents, whatever the gift is, whatever this being chosen is. So there is a choice being made, and this one child is the one that's going to get it, because they're not as silly as these other children. So I don't know if this is literally children or people in general, choosing between different relationship options, choosing between different jobs. It could be a lot of different things, okay? But here we are. Here's the Ace of Wands. So it's almost as though the King of Wands is giving his staff of power to someone else, and he's chosen this person. It's like, you're going to inherit right, of my 7 children, I've chosen you to inherit my power when I'm gone, and you're the one that gets to lead the kingdom next. You know, so it's like, this is the chosen one, if you like. Very, very happy about it there. And the King of... It's the the Page of Pentacles as well. So this is somebody who's serious. Pentacles are earth energy, grounded. It doesn't have to be an earth sign, by the way. But it's just that this person has the potential to really improve their skills, really learn in a very practical way. You know, practical application is the words that I'm hearing. So while these people are very silly, this person is going to take it seriously. It's like they've proved their merit. So it is just a page, though. They have a lot of learning to do, but they're taking their responsibility seriously. I want to go back to the last Tell Me Anything reading that I did as well, with the imagery that I was getting for that reading. Comes through for Capricorn quite often, but it doesn't have to be. I get the imagery quite often of a cave, it's been going for a while now, being in a deep cave and the lights going out and having to, you know, feel your way out, like feel the walls to lead yourself out of there, you know, and there being a spark of light in there that you're following. It's like you follow that, you're in that dark cave, you finally find that spark of light, and suddenly the whole cave is lit up. You can see, and the cave's beautiful. It turns into a grotto. So the imagery that I was getting last week was this very stone, hard cave, which was representing somebody's heart. You know, they were very hardened, they were very unfeeling, they kind of closed off their emotions, put the walls up, put the boundaries up. They were like, no, I'm going inwards, I'm doing some soul searching. But it's like some sort of, basically the way it was coming through was that water had been dripping into this cave over time. So, you know, little bits of water managing to come through the cracks, and it was forming these stalagmites and stalactites, which were like joining together the connections of the heart, and the cave was filling up with water. And then it was like there was a champagne bottle uncorking, where all of a sudden there was fire introduced as well, which is represented here by this Ace of Wands. It's like a spark that lights up the cave. It was kind of coming out as like a volcano coming up under the emotions for me in the imagery. But it's like all of a sudden you can see the inside of this cave, and the imagery that I was getting was because of the refraction of the light through the water, the walls of the cave were covered in rainbows. Now they it's interesting as well, my daughter had been you may still be able to see little bits of sparkle. There's some here just off camera. I'd left this cloth out over the past few days since I did sort of the first set of readings, I think. Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio. I think I had this set up like this. And then it's been a few days since then, and now I'm back. But I'd left this fabric out on the table, and my daughter had come in, and she's been, let me show you the box. She's been doing something. She's been doing some sort of crafts, but look at all that glitter inside there. So there was just glitter all over my fabric. I was like, thank you for that. But yeah, the inside of the cave was, when it was lit up, it was covered in like precious like minerals and jewels, and you know, it's sparkling. The walls of the cave were sparkling. So it reminds me, actually, again, I don't know if it is for Capricorn. I tend to get the cave imagery for Capricorn a lot. People can sometimes see them as a very stone-hearted sign, because they, as I say this, I'm looking at a book called Warm Bodies. Yes, the people can see Capricorn as a very stone-hearted sign, where, you know, all about work, a little bit ruthless sometimes. As I say that, I'm looking at investing. And quite hard to get close to sometimes. Very, very warm, but hard to get really close to, you know. They kind of have that inner circle. So I saw once on social media, someone posted a picture of like it was like a dead heart, or like a white heart, a cold heart, and they were joking that it was Capricorn. And someone replied and it said, yeah, but you should see the light show when that thing lights up. And I think it's been lit up. I think somebody's heart has been, it doesn't have to be a Cappy, it's just the imagery, the references they give me. It's like someone's heart is being lit up. You know, they're being chosen, and they've got their passion back, they've got their spark back, and all of a sudden that they thought they were in that dark cave, but that cave is actually like a magical grotto, is the way it's coming through. So recurring imagery throughout my readings. So yeah, this is like, whether it's some sort of revival of something, whether it's a new talent that this person's discovered, or this person has a certain skill and there's some kind of opportunity to really work on their skill, could be something like that. The Ace of Wands is like a creative potential, so it's an idea, a concept, something that really gets you passionate. It's like the kind of way that's showing it me is like, if you've ever gone to the pub and out with one of your mates, and you've had a couple of drinks, and it doesn't even have to be like drinking, it could be like, I don't know, just when you're a kid and you're talking to your mate and you're like, oh, I've had this great idea, we could do this, we could do that, yeah, let's do it, let's do that awesome thing. It's kind of coming through as that. It's like, it's just the idea. But this person here, because it's a Page of Pentacles, they are going to ground it, almost like magician energy. The magician takes the concepts and turns them into a reality. This is what's happening. This Page energy, they've got a lot of learning to do. It's like back to the drawing board energy. I'm a student again. Let's figure this thing out. How are we going to get this off the ground? It's the figuring it out stage. It's like, I've had the idea. How do I actually do this? How do I, like, let's investigate different options. Let's learn what we need to learn. So it's that kind of idea into how do we get it done energy. I really, really like it. But it comes after this kind of choosing process. Now, it could also be, if this isn't the King of Wands, you know, like Triton and his daughters, you know, who's going to inherit my kingdom next? If it's not that kind of scenario, it could also be that this King of Wands is going back into learning mode. So they've the King of Wands has progressed in terms of, like, he has a lot of control over his passions. He's really kind of like done a lot of experimenting in terms of, you know, what makes him fired up, what makes him passionate, what makes him driven, and he knows what he's doing now, and he's got a lot of self-control with that. You know, he knows what he likes, and he's not a player. He could have been a player in the past, but now he knows what he wants. But you know, kings can go back into page energy. So for example, if you were at the peak of your career, you know, in the current job that you're in, you kind of like got as far as you could get, you'd be the king in that career, or queen, you know, gender neutral, take it as it resonates. It doesn't have to be a man. And then it's like sort of big fish, small pond energy, where it's like, right, I'm going to go on to the next stage. I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to go to a different career where I can continue to improve. So you go back in at page level. So it's like, you know, you were the big fish in the small pond, but when you go to the big pond where you have room to grow, you're starting out as a small fish again. So but it's great because you've got more opportunity to learn and build. So I don't know if it's that, it's like this king is going back into page energy, or if it's like the mantle is being passed on, so to speak. Do I want to read all these? I kind of do want to read all these. What time are we on? Just give me a second. I'll decide which ones are good to read and which ones I might leave. Hold on. Okay, so we'll go with this one. So, the Seven of Cups. It's easy to allow yourself to get distracted by whatever shiny new thing just happens to roll on by. Even under the sea, measures can be, sorry, it's hard to read because it's on an angle. Even under the sea, treasures can be irresistible. In fact, just looking for new sparkly items can be a full-time job. It can take so much time that you forget to focus on all the other things in your life. And before you know it, all you have in your life are the vessels filled with lackluster, useless, discarded bits and pieces. Distractions are part of everyday life. It is easy to allow them to take control and dictate the terms of your day. It takes strength and commitment, however, to turn away from them and keep your emotions and mind clear and focused. Allow yourself to fill your days with what seems like busyness. Allowing yourself to fill your days with what seems like busyness doesn't mean that you are actually achieving anything, except maybe cluttering up your mental, emotional, and vibrational space. So for now, leave the shiny objects where you found them and leave the space for something you really wish to experience. Okay, let's go to the Six of Cups. So again, this thing about, it could be like chasing possessions, you know, like materialism, capitalism, no, consumerism. I don't know. But it's like, you'll understand when I read this one. I'm just going to read it. Actually, it's just... So, oh, the joy of finding new things to play with and explore, especially when you have no idea what the object you found is actually used for. Mermaid children play freely without the knowledge of what their playthings are, and none of them care. Their right now experience is unrestricted, not bogged down with meaning. It's merely a time to be silly and creative and let their imaginations run wild. You may recognise the found objects in this card as cups, but that's only because you have a memory associated with what a cup is. When you were a child, someone showed you a cup, told you what its name was, and explained what it was for. Someone else's meaning then became your own, and the objects now known as cups came to have a shared story. The mermaid children do not share your story. They do not have a passed down narrative to explain cups, and therefore are just free to explore them however they wish. So there is something really interesting here, a bit like Ariel, the little mermaid with the fork, and she's combing her hair with it. It's like, it's only worth something because you have a story to tell about it. It's only because someone's told you that this thing has value that it is valuable. And now this can talk about traditions, culture, you know, a lot of different things that are inherited from our parents, from the people around us, from our family, from our culture. But if you introduce somebody who is not familiar with these things, maybe they can see things from a different angle. Maybe they can see things out of the box, where it actually brings in this creative potential. It's like, well, why can't this be a hat? Why can't this be a hat? What if it was a hat? What if, you know, this was a little house for fish? It can be a lot of different things. So creative potential here, exploring your options, finding creative potential, not necessarily valuing something because other people value it, but because it's inspiring you, it's firing you up, right? It's firing up that spark within. The Six of Cups brings into a focus stories of your childhood, stories that perhaps were never truly yours. Maybe they were told to you as a way of moulding your engagement and interaction with the world around you. Right now, however, that story just doesn't feel the way it once did. Just like the Mer children, you are aching to write a new story, one that is yours and yours alone. Feel free from the rules that someone else once explained to you, free of someone else's meaning. Okay, so again, interpret the cards however you want to interpret them. Ace of Wands then. I don't know, you'll be able to see it better on the book. So sorry, sometimes they go across 2 pages and it'll be on one page and not the other. Again, one page and not the other. Choose in between, right? I love how it's glowing. Like, I don't know, I love how warm and magical it looks. When something is new, it has a certain spark, heat, and energy to it that lights you up. It gets you excited and seems to stream energy right into your veins. This is the gift of the Ace of Wands. This card is full of creative fire and passion and has that lovely new smell about it. But before you go to grab the wand and gaze into its fire pearl, think about what this new energy will change in your life. Are you ready for the things to get intense, heated, and desire-driven? If so, then by all means reach in and grab that wand with all your might. If not, let it go for now. It will still be there if and when you change your mind. The Ace of Wands brings a flash of inspiration, a charge of energy, and a new lease on life. This energy is not to be taken lightly. Wands are intense, charged up, and ready to go now. The fire pearl on top of the wand holds great power, and with it comes the need for you to show up and be accounted for. Get ready for things to get interesting. Cool. I don't know. Are you ready? Are you ready? The Page of Pentacles then. The thing is, the Page of Pentacles, I feel, would be the most capable of the pages because they're ready to put in the work. This is the thing with the pages, the Pentacles. It's like committed, work-driven, and knowing that effort is gonna be needed to get you somewhere. So it's like this is the perfect person to do it. Hang on, I get to use the book, yay! Do you remember how you used shiny things to bounce light when you were a child? Again, it's a pentacle, it's money, but the child is investigating it and finding their own way of looking at it. You know, they're playing with the thing that is perhaps precious in a different way to someone else. Do you remember how you used shiny things to bounce light when you were a child? You used glass, silver trays, mirrors, anything that would send sunlight onto something else and create a sunspot or a rainbow. I remember my own children discovering this trick in much the same way as the young page. Realizing they could make rainbows on purpose was a true joy to my children. Sorry, that really got to me. Realizing they could make rainbows on purpose was a true joy to my children. It's just because It's making me think about when COVID first started and everybody was feeling a sense of despair, a sense of, oh my God, is the world ending? You know, it was really scary. And the children, I think around the world, but definitely here, were creating rainbows. You know, they were whatever they wanted to make out of, whatever art they wanted to make out of, drawing, painting, making rainbows, drawing them on stones and leaving them around, putting them up in the windows so that they couldn't see their friends face to face in person, but they could, you know, walk around the neighborhood for the daily exercise and see in all their friends' windows all these rainbows. So it was like the hope as we went into a dark time. And yes, children can create rainbows. Children can be a source of hope. And we can all do this. We can all make rainbows. We can all share that healing energy, that optimism, that hope, that compassion, you know, whatever the rainbow needs to be. We can spread the light. You know, we're all capable of doing this in so many different ways. And yet so many people choose to spread darkness and hate and toxicity and fear. Be careful what you choose to spread. You know, and this can be like a post on social media that's all doom and gloom, you know, or, you know, bad news, the news being dark. And this isn't saying we have to ignore things, but we can acknowledge things and still find the hope within it. And not just for ourselves, but for other people too. And I really tried to do that. When everybody was like fighting for toilet roll, for example, it was like everybody was struggling for toilet roll and panic buying. And I was making a lot of jokes about it. And I do that. I'm a bit of a joker, especially something scary, because I think making jokes takes the power away from the thing that's scary. You know, it's cathartic. Laughing about the things that scare us is it helps us deal with them. So there's a message in that too. I just remember like getting there was like a load of beans on the shelf, and there was one that was like all battered and stuff, and I specifically chose the beans that were all battered so I could make a joke on Twitter about it. And I remember being in the supermarket, and I was so excited to see there was some kitchen roll right at the back of the shelf. There was, I think, 3 left right at the back of the top shelf, which was clearly because nobody could reach it. And there was this woman looking at it, like thinking, I really want to get that. How do I get it? She was like smaller than me. And so I just like reached up. I've got like really long arms, like really reached up and knocked them and pulled them all forward, and I gave her one, and I took one for myself, and I left the third one on the shelf for somebody else who could get it. I pulled it forward so someone could reach it, you know. And I could have said, "F you, woman, you know, I'm going to stockpile this kitchen roll. I'm going to take all 3," but I didn't do that, you know. So there's something about being calm in a crisis, thinking about others, spreading positivity, making things better for other people and not just yourself, and not spreading toxicity and doom and gloom, especially on social media. I'm sorry for the speech, but I do feel like that was a message that wanted to come through there. Realising they could make rainbows on purpose was a true joy to my children. To see they could use one thing and deliberately create a desired result would leave them with huge smiles on their faces. In this card, the young page also looks pretty happy with himself, as he has just realised that given the right set of conditions, he can create something at will. Creation is meant to be fun. You are meant to play and explore and see how things work together. Here with the Page of Pentacles, you are being given permission to simply play, to be in the don't take life so seriously, King of Wands. Go and play with the children. Stop seeing those cups as like precious things when, you know, you could have fun with them. It's like, don't be all about the money, perhaps. Use what's around you and see what might result. Just like the page in this card, you will be happily surprised to find that you can create something you want on purpose. Create something you want on purpose. So the page was clarified by the Judgment card, which can be about feeling your true calling. And guys, the Two of Cups, we all love the Two of Cups. It's somebody who's your equal. It's somebody who matches your vibrational wavelength. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it can be. It can be friends, family members, somebody who's on the same page, right? Puns, haha. Let's go to the Judgment card then. I love this deck. And I love that the message that I was receiving through my kind of my visions actually came out here with like the light in the cave and the rainbows on the walls. Even with the water dripping in, it's like literally what I was seeing. Okay, so judgment card then. So this is clarifying the page. The shaman of rebirth plays an ancient song of release through his conch shell, filling the water with waves of forgiveness. To those with open hearts, the song releases them from their binding bubble and allows them to swim free. I do feel like it's breaking away from values that somebody has imposed on you upon material things, or traditions. There's something to do with what's been passed down and remembering how to play again. So it could be that you're rejecting that one thing because you've been told it's precious in order to go and play with your friends, to play freely. It could be something like that. It is only those who feel worthy to drop their burdens that find themselves reborn, new and ready to start again. Those who feel their sins are too heavy or too large to forgive will stay trapped in the suffering of their own creation. Thankfully, the shaman will play again, always offering an opportunity for liberation and rebirth. Said that about the Ace of Wands, right? It's like the fire, the creativity, the opportunity, the spark. Are you going to go for it? If you don't go for it and you stay trapped in your own, again, look at the similar imagery here with the whirlpool at the top, like looking up at the light but staying down in the dark, blinded by your own choices. Like, are you going to choose what really speaks to you? Are you going to choose the thing that gets you fired up? Even if it seems frivolous, it may be frivolous because you've been told it's frivolous, where actually it could just be what you need right now. So again, trust your own judgment, but are you keeping yourself trapped and small because you have feelings of guilt that aren't really your own, but they're imposed on you by family, friends, tradition, upbringing, culture? So I'll just read that again. It says, it's like even if you've missed an opportunity now, opportunities will come back around for you. Those who feel their sins are too heavy or too large to forgive will stay trapped in the suffering of their own creation. You're the one keeping yourself trapped, right? How do you work with the energy of judgment? Are you free and easy with how you dish it out? In turn, allowing others to do the same when it comes to judging you. So that's like people who can criticize others but can't take criticism. Know a few of those. Or are you forgiving, compassionate and understanding? Exactly how you would want others to be if you found yourself on the other side of a judgment-filled glare. Judgment is a mindset more than anything. It is a standard we have set for how we decided what actions are good or what actions are bad. In turn, judgment leads us to decide how actions should or should not be punished. Obviously, there's laws. Laws are, you have to follow the laws, I think. But even then, there's some laws like women can't vote, that can be challenged in a healthy way. And some laws can be wrong. I'm not saying go out and flout laws, but you can definitely protest, challenge, test boundaries, and that can actually liberate other people. People used to get depending on which country you are in the world, if you are gay, you're going to be treated differently. Some people are going to be, I think in some is it like Saudi Arabia or the United Emirates? Some of the countries in that area, I think there's still the death penalty for if you commit a homosexual act. Where, in the I think the 60s or 40s, it was something that people didn't talk about here. It's something that was still you could go to prison for in the UK. Where now it's. People are free to choose who they want to love and to do what they want to do with their own bodies, as long as they are not, doing anything that is harmful. So again, people have different ideas of what is harmful. Excuse me a second. Okay, my son wants to say a quick hi. Do you want to go on then? Do you want to give him a thumbs up? There we go. All right, off to do your maths. He looks like this. He's got lockdown hair and he's refusing to let me cut it. Right, okay. So again, gets to make his own choices, right? So yeah, so there could be something about lawmaking, rule making. Oh, everything seems fine until you fall prey to your own rules. Think carefully about how you deal with your judgment today. Maybe in this instance, you can be the shaman of help and release someone else from their burden of guilt and shame. So it could be, oh no, I'm married and I have strong feelings for somebody else. Like, that's all right. You kind of, it's normal, it's human to kind of like to feel things. Like, just accept it, just be like, oh, I really like that person. Doesn't mean you have to do anything about it, right? It's okay. It's all right, you can't help it, it's what your body's meant to do. So yeah, that sort of thing. Let's go to the Two of Cups, one of my favourite cards in the whole of the tarot, because I'm a Libra and I like balance and I like romance. I like people to get their perfect person, no matter who that is, right? Like, for me, love has no boundaries. Love is love. Love is love is love. You know, if you love somebody, then that is the most beautiful gift that we could have as humans. It's the highest vibrational energy, and it comes in so many different forms. You know, parents and children, you know, lovers, friends, family. When you meet people who match you on a vibrational level and you love them, why would you push that away? Just accept it and be thankful, because you've been given the gift of connection with somebody else. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Two of Cups. So there's no image here, which is why I'm holding the card. Do you remember that feeling of excitement mixed with anxiety that it happens when you meet someone new? Ace of Wands. Could be for some of you. Someone you simply gel with. That feeling like nothing and nobody could come between that feeling like nothing and nobody could come between the spark that the two of you have created. This feeling doesn't always mean love, nor does it always last long term. What it does mean is that right now you have met someone who seems to excite you. Just for now, forget about what comes next and don't get too caught up in the what ifs. Instead, just allow yourself to enjoy how you are feeling in this moment, because the two of you are coming together for a reason. The Two of Cups heralds a meeting. Someone new is coming into your life who shares similar thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. This may be a romantic opportunity, or it could be a chance to find a new friend. Either way, a new and beneficial relationship is swimming into your life. So raise a cup and celebrate. Gorgeous. Don't worry about what it means. Just enjoy the connection. And you know, you can figure things out as you go. Don't overthink. Don't overthink the future because it hasn't happened yet. You know, it's like you can't make a decision if the opportunity to make a decision hasn't actually presented itself yet. So stop overthinking, stop projecting forwards, just enjoy. If you have good vibrations in your life right now, just go with it, just go with the flow. Don't make, it's not a big deal, right? I am getting so warm, I really want to take my top off, but I've not actually, I've just got like my little bralette on underneath. Okay. The song for your reading, by the way, was Me Versus Us by Tayla Parx, which is a song about a relationship presenting itself to you and overthinking it. So that could definitely be what it is for some of you. All the songs that come through will be in the description. Well, not all of them, because I'm going to forget to put things like good vibrations down there. But you can check out that description box down below. Me Versus Us by Tayla Parx will be down there in your song list. You can go and check that out, see if it's relevant to you. And then I'm also going to ask for a couple of songs when I finish the reading. I'm going to ask for what you need to hear right now and the best advice. So you can check out those songs, see if they're relevant in any sort of way, see if they make you think of a certain person. Oh, and we've got your card. Protection. Call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Just going to check. Is there anything else, please? Advice for the people resonating with this reading. Well, that's a bit too much, isn't it? Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. Soul Family, there you go. That's like the Two of Cups, isn't it? Call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. And boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So there's definitely something about people around you. Like, because you've got this sisterhood thing, you've got these people on this card, protection. Could be people around you protecting you. Could be, but maybe you feel like there's too many voices, too many people judging you. where you've actually got some kind of soul connection here as well. Do I want to read all these? I don't know. You've got priestess there as well. How are you being called to step up and lead? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Do you know who's on? And play, no way, look. Play, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. Definitely a message about playing there. I forgot to tell you who's on the bottom of this deck. So on the underlying of this, again, this is exactly as the cards came out. No setting up on my behalf. Who's on the bottom of the deck? Somebody who matches the King of Cups vibrational level. It's the Queen of Wands. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that advice like that. And my video cut out, so I think I am supposed to leave it there. I think that's a sign. I didn't realise it was cut out, and I read the card for the Queen of Wands, but I suppose because it ended there so perfectly, I was like, I'm going to end it like that, and it cut out. I feel like that's a sign from the universe that you actually do need to leave it there. So yeah, guys, take care with that. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and yeah, leave me a like if you like, share with friends if you think they'd enjoy the story. Interesting to see where this goes, but definitely definite message there about having fun, letting things, this card comes with a message of letting things fall away if they no longer serve you, and moving towards the new, because the new is where there's potential creative energy, right? Where the enthusiasm is, and the enthusiasm is drive to really get really good results because you're enthusiastic. So if something's like old and boring, it could be that it's naturally falling away from you for a reason. I don't know. I'm leaving it there. Do take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye.